Alright, welcome back to the Crossie Flash Show. I need to turn my music down. But today we will be looking at EvadeShade versus Natewigg. These were fun battles to watch. I always like watching the noobs go at each other. The builds are a lot more interesting. And yeah, it's all fun in games.
Yeah, it's definitely fun to watch. You get away from the kind of potentially meta picks and see how different units perform.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's jump into it. Our first matchup was the Knights of Caledor versus Wood Elves. I wonder why he just went with Knights of Caledor. I always find it weird when people go with specific factions when, you have a lot more flexibility with, because I think you can still pick. Oh wow, yeah, they forgot how they fired like right away.
Yeah, you can get all of the lords, I think, as the central faction, but yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about Wood Elves first. Let's see what he brought. Hey, he went super heavy archers. Like, wow, I forgot how heavy archers he went. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are 8 units of archers there. My God. I don't know what he was. Well, what's he have protecting? He has spearmen. Only 3 spearmen, or 4 spearmen. Eagle. Okay. I already say.
I kind of think here it looks like he was expecting to have to counter skirmish the Wood Elves, which typically may have to do. Yeah, I mean it's a way to do it. I think potentially a little bit over the top here. A strong Wood Elf army with a decent amount of cavalry would be able to. Yeah, I think we pick this apart just because of the.
I think here we run into the problem of you got too many archers, son. Get something to protect those archers, because all your money's going into those archers, and literally, so we got a lot of dryads. If those dryads can make it to the end, they have no armor. Like the Lothran Sea Guard can defend themselves, but you got nothing to protect them. I mean, you got some spearmen, but you also got your Phoenix Guard all the way in the back. They're just gonna get eaten up super fast. I don't think Wood Elves are too fit to, or not Wood Elves, High Elves are too fit to go a build like this, honestly. Mostly because if you're going to skirmish the enemy this much, you can do it, right? But the biggest problem is you don't have 360 firing, so you're going to have to heavy micro those 8 units of archers you brought.
Yeah, 8 is pretty excessive. I mean, it can work, but... Yeah, like I say, it's very hard to kind of keep them protected and prevent the enemy from flanking and just taking advantage of their kind of limited firing arc.
Yeah. These are just normal archers. Wood Elves are not. God damn it. High Elves have pretty solid cheap archers. They don't have armor piercing, but their strength is pretty good. They have ammo. Pretty solid unit overall.
You'd say against the Wood Elves, armor piercing not really a big necessity. The only thing you need against is kind of shrieking and stuff, but you can just run away and skirmish those down typically. So
and they'll do lots of damage to the dryads overall. We got some Eagle Claw bolt throwers. I don't really see anyone bring these. I don't really know how strong they are either, honestly. Again, I think just way too heavy ranged here. Like way too heavy ranged.
One of these is good. It outranges the Wood Elf missiles, which can be nice. It's got the whatever, it's a multi-shot kind of split shot thing, which is decent at putting pressure on units like Way Stalkers and that, as they're kind of Way Watchers, as they're just kind of dancing around in a distance out of your range. But like he's clearly gone. He clearly built this army as 100% a counter skirmish against like a Wood Elf skirmish build. It's decent. I think swap a couple of the archers out, maybe a couple of Love and Sea Guard just for some more infantry and potentially some cavalry, because against a wider Wood Elf army that's or more kind of maybe a melee rush kind of Wood Elf army, this would just be completely destroyed. You're very much putting a lot of your eggs in one basket with this selection.
Have also realized we have a cardinal sin here. We have no mage on the High Elf side, which is a very big no-no, especially against as many dryads as you brought. If you would have brought, or like a life mage too, they heal up Imric, or just use any fire spells at all.
Fire's a strong pick against the Wood Elves with their units with
like these dryads will crumble.
Fire damage. And like you said, alive to regen. Like the high elves have no shortage of mages, so even if you bring a mage with one spell, you bring a shadow mage with a pendulum to take out like the enemy archers or the frontline fight. Like that's 800 gold, and you're getting kind of 40 to 50 Winds of Magic worth of damage potentially. So it's always worth bringing a mage, even if it's just with one spell, and even if it's just going to hide in the back of the field and do nothing else apart from cast that one spell all game. So
yeah, definitely. Imric's not a bad lord on a dragon. You can do lots of damage, decent amount of health, really good at weapon strength, armor piercing. You have that breath. Not bad. I think a lot of the high elf lords are pretty good.
Yeah, it's can't really argue too much with Emmerich. Don't seem too often, potentially just because of some of the other high elf lords.
Tyrion.
When you've got like Tyrion and Elariel.
Altharion can be good too.
Yep. He's a strong combatant. So.
Is there anything else? We've talked about the Phoenix Guard, very good unit against Cav. I don't think it's a bad, like bringing one of them isn't bad. He definitely should have brought some more spearmen. But yeah, that is the high elf army. Let's look at the wood elf army. So he went with the dryad frontline, and I don't think it's necessarily that bad against the high elves, because
so the advantage here is that he's trying to use the Vanguard deployment to rush in, kind of surprise them, rush in, maybe minimize the amount of damage they take on the charge kind of thing, on the approach. And coupled with the Vanguard deployment of these other units too, of Orion and Ariel. So here you've got like a strong spellcaster, and then this kind of Orion who's a decent
he's decent in melee.
Like hybrid, he's got strong range attack. He's decent in melee, so, and he's unbreakable, so he's gonna stick around, which is always nice.
And you can grind meat on those abs, so he's just here chilling.
I'm pretty sure there's some kind of regen or some kind of him, but I can't 100% remember.
Yeah,
that, so.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I see one of the things that would be regen. Yeah, he regains 8 hit points per second.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So again, regen on lords just incredibly
very good.
Just keeps in the fight. At the back here we've got the 2 Hagbanes with a Waystalker. I mean, you play with elves more than me, to be honest. You're probably more.
I think overall, if you're bringing already Orion and Ariel, you don't need a Waystalker. You're bringing too many lords. You should probably either focus on bringing, like, get rid of that Waystalker, bring more archers, bring if you can, maybe 2 Way Watchers, if you still have the money. The Eternal Guard with shields are actually a very, very, very good frontline unit. They don't have a lot of armor, but they cost like 500 and they have armor piercing. And they have 44 melee defense. And overall, they're just a very solid unit, especially for a frontline.
And again, Silver Shield, which is for a frontline units, who are typically going to be the ones that get the first. Get hit by archers first or range units first.
I would say
Silver Shields are really strong. It basically halves the amount of incoming damage they take, halves the value of enemy ranged fire coming into them. So
yeah, I would say overall, if you are going to bring a normal infantry frontline wood elf build, bring the Eternal Guard. The Eternal Guard will be very good at their job of just holding, and they also have the bonus of having armor piercing. And then along with that, you can bring some really good cav to flank around. Hammer and anvil. Archers to just be an annoyance, stuff like that. Ariel is a very good unit. She's a very good spellcaster. She has a Barrier one. I think is it's not as good. I don't know if it's as good or better than Regrowth. I think it's basically as good. She has some good damage spells. But she costs a lot. She costs a lot. So if you're gonna bring her, she used to be unbreakable. I don't think she's unbreakable anymore. If I remember from the patch notes correctly, but this was before the patch, so
so I think at this time she was here and Orion with kind of unbreakable core here. So
yeah. And then on the left side of the Wood Elf flank, we got some Glade Riders and some Wild Riders. Glade Riders, they're a cheap cav. They're not bad.
Yeah, I think then the best way to view these kind of units is like dire wolves and those kind of units for like other factions. Is they're not going to win a one-on-one fight. They might not even be able to kill archers or something, but they can get in there very quickly and they can stop them firing. That's the main use of units like these. Yeah. Is the harassment factor, or as kind of like a morale thing, getting in the back. Like even if they don't do a huge amount of damage with the rear charge, they'll do a lot of morale damage, and that can potentially swing an otherwise close fight in your favor.
And let's talk about Wood Elf Cav for a second. Wood Elf Cav in general, you're never like 1v1. Let's say Demigryph Knights, they're going to get absolutely annihilated. Even the best Wood Elf Cavalry, the one that are ethereal, they are going to get annihilated just in prolonged combat. However, they have an extremely strong charge bonus. So that's where you're going to want to use them the most is Wood Elf Hammer and Anvil style. If you're not going full ranged, is a very good way to go if you're going to spend a lot of money on cav, because if you do lots of cycle charging, you can demolish the best of units if they're engaged.
Yeah, so the strength of Wood Elf cavalry is their speed. They're faster than almost any other factions. By their charge bonus, they do like armor. If they go one-on-one with like J Flash said, if they go one-on-one with any other kind of equivalent cavalry, so like an Empire Knights of the Realm, Silverhelm, they're going to lose just because they lack the staying power of those units.
Low melee defense.
But they are quicker, so
they can outrun,
to kind of use them to get on the flanks, like try and get the enemy cav like engaged in some other way or tied up, and then use the maneuverability of these units and the high charge bonus and the frenzy and these kind of abilities to get in. And once they do get those charges, they do significant amounts of damage on the charge.
Yeah. All right, so I think that is everything. Let us begin, starting in 3, 2, 1. Okay, yeah, to start off, these poor Dryads are just going to get absolutely annihilated by the Archer Barrage. And plus, you also got those Bolt Throwers firing too, but yeah, my god.
Yeah, there's not too much to say here. It's a really rough beginning. Seeing I'm not quite sure how much Dryads cost, but I think that's maybe 2,000 value of gold. Just getting rid of the way. A nice Hour of Kurnos from the Waystalker on the Bolt Thrower. But it's already struggling. And a big thing here is again, they just stood here. The Dryads didn't get a full charge bonus, so they kind of just stood around on their right hand side. And one of the strengths of the Dryads is
we also had a weird spell there. I don't know if that's necessarily that good of a spell. What were you gonna say?
So I think he was trying to use the Tempest spell to kind of just do a decent amount of damage to flying units, but Imric managed to dive out the way. Yeah. So managed to avoid the slowing effect and the damage of the spell, which is intentional. A very nice play there. As you can see here, the frontline battle was basically just already over.
We got the Cav coming in, going into hitting the back of the Lothran Sea Guard, doing lots of damage. The Lothran Sea Guard are good, if they can actually front face, but if they get charged from behind, that's it. One thing I do not recommend is he should have seen the Phoenix Guard were coming back and get those Glade Riders out as soon as possible. They are going to get absolutely destroyed by the Phoenix Guard.
The second Bolt Thrower there that could have easily been charged instead of this one. Maybe got tunnel vision one to get out of the way, but it could have just swung around and a kind of drive-by hit on the other Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower and got out and taken basically no damage. As it is, they've lost a third of the unit. So very important with Wood Elves to use some ability. He's done a better job with the Wild Riders on the side. He managed to take out the Lothran Sea Guard. A little bit pinned down by the Spearmen, but managed to get out before they took.
Yeah, and I think we have a bit of a micromanagement as these Phoenix Guard are coming right to the, right to the back of it. He got out just in time, but don't watch it. This is where this is where you're gonna win the battle. Your front line's already gone. You still have a chance with your Cav though, so just move them. Why are you letting them get fed up? I hate watching that. They're just these Phoenix Guard are just getting destroyed. I don't know where he's focusing. Maybe trying to micro his archers. There we go. he moved them a bit, but a lot of damage there that could have been avoided if he would have just moved them out of the way. How did those... Okay, yeah, well, those are the Regiment Renowned Triads are going in. I think the actual high elf front line's basically gone. We have a mistake over here is we got on the high elf right flank, there's some archers, spearmen all the way back there, where they could be very useful trying to defend your archers.
Yeah, that's getting caught up in attack orders. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Glade Guard, even though they don't cost as much as the Lothran Sea Guard, they're going to be able to do a lot more damage, especially because they have poison. So just focusing that Lothran Sea Guard, they're gone. If they focus on Imric too, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage. What's he doing with his cav? I have no idea. Where'd the... Oh, okay, there we go.
I think they split basically.
Please don't tell me. Okay. He's charging his Glade Riders into the back of the Phoenix Guard that turned around. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah. Unless you got really good cav, don't do that. Because like the Phoenix Guard are amazing anti-large, and yeah, those Glade Riders are getting demolished. They're gonna break pretty soon here. Yeah, like basically broke. You still got your Wild Riders, but that was a very poor management of your Glade Riders there. It could have done I'm more hunting down those archers that are still going around.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this unit of Eagle Boat Force, which has been left alive this whole battle, just firing away the whole time. So
weird spell cast there. I think the high elf player is messing up, is mismicroing here. He could spend Imric over to take out the Glade Guard. That's what he should be doing right now. Or he needs to focus those archers.
Yeah, so this was a better cast of that spell that we saw already, the Vortex spell. Like, it really slowed Imric down, it did decent damage, and it allowed the kind of archers to take some pot shots at him.
Yeah.
They don't do armor piercing damage, they won't do huge amounts, but they do imbue some kind of debuffs, like slowing down, so they allow a lot of the shots to hit.
Yeah, I think he's being too indecisive with Imric. He doesn't know what he wants to do with him. Yeah, he's turning him around because he's getting scared of the arrows. Honestly, just go for it. They don't have armor piercing. Yes, they have poison. They're going to do damage, but all you got to do is land, and the fear factor will take over. And him, sending the dragon away like that, just letting it get fired on, especially because dragons aren't that fast. They have, with poison slowing him down too. He's taking a lot of damage that could have been avoided there.
Yeah, I think that was about
we also got
health there, 1500 in
we also got some turtle guard that are literally walking. I don't know, like we should probably put a Pink Panther theme, because I don't know how they got this far behind the enemy lines and he's still not doing anything about it. What happened to the Wild Riders? I don't know. Oh, they're there. Okay, yeah, very good use of Wild Riders. Using that charge bonus, taking out those Lothran Sea Guard. He should have done that with his other cav, taking out the lost archers that remain. I think the high elf player kind of lost himself the battle by taking Imric away. If he would have used Imric on those archers, he could have taken them out, and then he could have focused on Orion and Ariel. But instead of him back here doing nothing, you're wasting a lot of money you spent. Oh, there's that spell again. This one was actually kind of well cast. Doing a decent amount of damage to him. But yeah, the only thing he really has left is the Phoenix Guard, and the Phoenix Guard can take anything on here 1v1, but problem is they're being shot at by those archers. And if they get rear charged by the Wild Riders, that's basically it.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unusual endgame here with kind of archers just crossing fire with each other.
Yeah.
No kind of established one lines or anything, just absolute kind of chaos everywhere, but
yeah.
This is where kind of the unbreakable units really come into their own. So Orion, you've got to kill him, and like we mentioned earlier, he's got that kind of healing thing when he's below a certain amount of health, I think it is. Ariel doesn't have huge damage output in melee, but he's incredibly tanky and just is incredible spellcaster. So regenerates into magic really well. So her being around right until the death is a huge buff.
Yeah, definitely.
Still with this Waystalker 2 again. Used all his ammo. He's not a great melee combatant, but the only thing on the high elf army at this point that can do damage to heroes is Imric, and Imric has been whittled away for the entire battle. So
yeah, I think if also the high elf player would have gone, he didn't choose so much ranged, he would have had a better chance here. But you went way too much on range there. Some, spearmen could have done you well. Something to kind of more than just to prevent that cav in the back.
Yeah,
something.
Some spearmen, some counter cav of your own, some silver helms or something like that can
Yeah.
Like you mentioned earlier, like 1-on-1, they'll be able to defeat the Wood Elf cavalry, so it's really useful just to have a mobile core of your own that can get in there and contest the enemy mobility.
Yeah, those Wild Riders, they didn't they got a lot of kills there, decent. Yeah, I think that was mostly just on those archers. Yeah, that Dryad front line did not last, but Ariel, that Waystalker, and Orion kind of made up for it. And he, I don't want to say he used his cav well, but it was serviceable. It helped him win the battle.
They disrupted the enemy enough that the kind of hero core could, and the couple of Glade Guard could win a battle for them. So yeah. Decent job there.
Right, let's move on to the next battle, which is Vampire Coast versus Skaven. Oh boy. Okay. I remember this battle. So usually I would say Vampire Coast there's a semi good pick. So if you're going to fight against Skaven, you either got to know, hey, I got to outrange them, or I need to be able to rush and get behind them so I can take out, where the most amount of damage is going to come here. The biggest problem with this Vampire Coast army is it's not really going to be able to outrange them. The vampire gunnery mob, zombie gunnery mob, they don't have good range. I think they actually will get outranged by, they'll get outranged just about by everything here. Yeah,
they're more of a close range kind of It isn't terrible. It's kind of what they use for. They're kind of like a screen with an arm-piercing missile attack.
Yeah.
So not terrible, but it's not going to kind of win you the range engagement over like the Skaven weapon teams.
Yeah.
And in this case, they've gone with the double cannon, double mortars, which is
it's not bad.
Serviceable. He's gone quite wide to try to prevent one unit being kind of wiped out. And I mean, to be honest, maybe it could work in another. But it's
it's not looking too good.
None of them are particularly accurate, which is one thing from these.
Yeah.
And although they do range a lot of the Skaven units, you need to make sure they're in positions where they can take advantage. So,
he definitely should have put them on the hill.
He deploys in this kind of depression here. He deploys on top of this hill with his gives his cannons great line of sight, a slight accuracy bonus, and then the ability to shoot over the heads of their other units. That means it put them in a better position. Looking at the rest of the army, just a lot of zombie deckhands. Can't really complain too much. They're
their job. I don't know if you'd want to bring pole arms in this situation. They cost a little bit more. I would say bring normal zombies.
I think against the Skaven, I'd recommend throwing a couple of the ones with the bombs. I can't remember the exact name. They could help Skaven slaves or slum rats. They do really low damage to anything with armor, but against Skaven, don't have armor. They're great at kind of clearing those front lines out. And then Death Guards on each side. Just generally a solid unit, I think. They're going to lose to other infantry, but against their cavalry, they're incredibly strong, and they have frenzy, and they have a kind of a reading ability of their own, which only goes off when they're in combat, but it allows them to be incredibly tanky in long-range fights or long-term fights.
Yeah.
And I think the final one here is just Salostra. Wizard, incredibly tanky when she's on that thing, and she has some kind of nice, I think they're unique to her kind of summons, is it?
Yeah, she has the unique cavalry summon and stuff. I don't think she's a bad choice here. She can go in, but maybe bringing what's his name? That guy on the ship cannon thing could have helped out a bit. Just to you need, if you're playing Vampire Coast, you need to win the ranged battle. You know, you can bring some. I think you can bring some scurvy dogs, which could help out a bit. But overall, I don't think this army is. Maybe if you had some deck gunners, those could help out a bit. They have a longer range. Queen Bess, I feel like, could help out a bit too, instead of all these mortars and cannons. Like they're not really going to be able to do too much damage. Also, we have to take the map into effect. The Skaven are much more well positioned to be able to take range damage from the, they're gonna be able to head into the forest and just survive. All right, we talked about the Vampire Coast army. Let's talk about the Skaven army. Yeah, clan rats. No, I've talked about that. Don't bring them. Bring Skaven slaves. We have Skaven slaves. Yeah, meant to die.
Yes, just got the Skaven slaves in there, but yeah, I do think generally, a little bit more effective. Less melee defense, less staying power, but neither clan rats or Skaven slaves are going to win a front line engagement. They're just there to die. And then again, and Skaven slaves have the kind of expendable thing, which clan rats don't. So if your clan rats are getting kind of whittled away, it can hurt your morale. If your Skaven slaves are dying in droves, it won't affect the balance of power in the slightest. So you can lose 10 units of, I think they're a bit more expensive now, but you could lose, I don't know, maybe 8 units of Skaven slaves for 1,000, just bogging the enemy down. It's not going to affect your balance of power in the slightest. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and they're an incredibly valued unit just for buying yourself time.
We also have a bit of a unique unit here. We have the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers. This was the first time I've ever seen these units when I watched this battle. They have flaming... Yeah, I didn't even know they existed, but apparently Skavens, they figured out how to put fire on their swords, because of course they did. Also, it looks like these rats are just on fire.
Yeah, it's an interesting unit. They've got fire damage and basically immunity to fire, a fire resistance of 70%. So
yeah, kind of a weird unit here.
The Regiment of Renown.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember what it's called. The walking ship thing with the fire damage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of a weird unit to bring. We have some Plague Monks. They're actually a pretty solid, just, they can bonk their enemy. They have those little spinning Morning Star things.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Magic damage as well. They're yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
damage out, but they're not gonna win a one-on-one fight with another really infantry. But
yeah,
Skaven, very few Skaven units are. But yeah, as a kind of unit that can rush in, deal some damage, particularly to potentially ethereal units, and I think they also have like a morale debuff on them. So.
Okay, well, this is the first time I've ever seen a Gundao unit. Is a Gundao infantry? Is that okay? Well, the Eshin Triads. I've actually never seen these before. I didn't even notice he had them before. I have no idea what they are. Apparently, they have stock. They're anti-large. And what the fuck's a weaving braid? Okay, it's armor sundering. Yeah.
Yes. Minus 55% armor. These are kind of extreme kind of flanking unit. They have an ability called concealment bombs, which when active means they can basically run directly up to the enemy before they get seen. So they're incredibly good at kind of flanking or catching your enemy where they least expect it.
Yeah. More clan rats. Who do you bring? A Packmaster. It's a rat riding a rat.
So of course they're pretty decent. With this what is it? I can't remember. The wolf rat mount or something. The this big.
The big rat thing.
Yeah, big rat. Not upsetting my Skaven knowledge, but yeah. They're riding a giant rat with tusks. They're incredibly fast. 95 speed. They have poison attacks, good damage output, and they have regen.
Oh yeah, apparently regen to anything around it to 3 allies in range. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, so they can stick around. And then Squawk in the middle here. A good lord. He is decent melee combatant, and he's
I think he has the plague.
And he's War Plague plus Similar to the Sensibiros, he's got those kind of magic attacks and a debuff with his attacks. So yeah, very decent lord.
I don't think we
not kind of A tier when escaping lords go, but getting a lord with the magic, kind of saving everything to spread over 2 characters. Can be nice as it allows you to spend money elsewhere.
I don't think we have seen these guys be used yet, but the Avalanche Mortars. Now, if you're going to go Skaven, always bring these. Doesn't matter your build. I don't care you're going Sneak. I don't care you're going Infantry. You bring these things because they're the close. Yeah, they're the closest thing to being a broken unit in this game. They're squishy, right? So if you can get into them and charge them, they'll die. But I mean, they do magical damage. They have a missile strength of 400 and 404. That's armor piercing. That's also splash damage too. They have 250 range, so they can outrange they can't outrange artillery, but they'll outrange anything that can really fire back at them. Guns and shit.
Yeah, I mean they're just incredible unit.
They're really good.
Later on when they actually fire, but the amount of damage that these guys can put out in an incredibly short amount of time is really strong.
Like these can single-handedly win you a battle.
And then these kind of 2 Warpunk Gazelles, just again quite a strong unit. It's a long range, armor piercing damage, and they have the silver shield, so they take less damage. Plus they have I think it's a shield breaker themselves, so they reduce opponents' missile priority chances as well, so it's less wasted ammo kind of when they're shooting at unit versus say unit about that. So
and I think that's everything. All right, starting the battle in 3, 2, 1. So starting off, I think the Skaven player, he's going to go straight into the forest, which is very good. Just the especially in a ranged battle like this, getting the better deployment. Like the Vampire Coast player definitely should have positioned on this hill. Definitely could help them out.
If the Vampire Coast had been positioned off to the right, they would be able to be starting to take pot shots with their mortars just about right now. And with units like this, with the kind of limited accuracy and everything, time firing is really important. When you go for a unit with high range but low accuracy, you need to be taking your shots early. So every all this time that's kind of wasting away. I think maybe it's not quite so important because the Clamet's kind of pull, or the Skaven pull away into the forest rather than coming forwards anymore. So maybe it would have been on the edge of their range, but even so, that right now if they'd positioned on the right, they'd be able to move forwards a small amount. They can send a few of these kind of cheap units like zombie deckhand halberds just forwards just to kind of reveal the enemy units, and then be taking pot shots the whole time that the Skaven have to come towards them. As it is, they're both having to reposition, but every second spent repositioning is to the Skaven's benefit here. Yeah,
definitely. Especially because Vampire, the Skaven didn't bring any long range artillery, so the closer they can get, the better. Something I will say though is if you are bringing the Avalanche Mortars, don't shoot them in a forest. They'll kill themselves. So be cautious of that. I don't know if we'll see it this game, but in some other games I've watched before, they got put in a forest and they just straight up died because they did so much damage to themselves. But speaking of Avalanche Mortars, whenever you see these things, you need to focus them as soon as physically possible. That's why it's always good to bring. If he would have brought some Scurvy Dogs, he would have been able to get behind, and they would have been able to chew him up pretty easily. Orcs have the Squig Riders that can get behind them. Just anything with Vanguard deployment that you can put in the forest, and
So it's one of the generally effective ways to play both these factions is to kind of just outswarm them, like or just not give their range units viable targets to fire at. If you're running forward with them a very basic front line, then these mortars and these cannons, or the like the Giselles and the Avalanche Mortars can destroy 2 or 3 units on the charge. But if it's only 1,000 gold or something, and that buys you the time to get into melee and then instantly just bust through the Skaven front lines, then it's not going to be enough to win in the battle.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, that's what we're saying. Either you have to outrange these factions, which is a bit of a trade-off, or you've just got to have a way of kind of getting up to them and then kind of busting through their front lines and shutting down their
They're ranged. Yeah.
their ranged units. Yeah, whether that's through, like I mentioned, just rushing them on head on, or using kind of cheaper kind of quick units like scaly dogs or wolf rats. Those kind of units do
wolf rats especially can do a lot of damage if you use them right. The normal ones have armor piercing, and the ones with poison, they have poison, so they can do a lot of damage if used correctly. Got the cannons
here on the right. One cannon firing, one is still moving into position. Basically, it's
and are those
the enemies?
Oh yeah, there we go. Those warp lecture cells are firing. Here come the avalanche mortars. Firing good target focus here, firing on the depth guard of polearms. They're not in the forest. Good job. And then also, using the warp lecture cells very well to snipe Celestra, doing a lot of damage there. Those damn knights errant will be coming, but okay, here come the mortars. Oh, I see now. Okay, changed targets. But that did one volley hit there. Nearly a quarter damage done to those.
Charged by the damn knights errant seems like a bit of a kind of a desperation thing.
Trying to just do anything behind them.
I mean, this will show you kind of the limited strength of the potential Skaven front lines. Is that they are able to get into Shun of Jezeo, as they are able to start pulling them down. Like they've already killed 4 models, they probably kill a few more.
Yeah, and the
it's just too much of a piecemeal engagement. Like he could have brought a lot of time with this charge if he pushed some units up behind it a bit quicker. Like he's advancing 4 units, kind of his units on the left flank now. But it's again very piecemeal, and there we see the avalanche mortars basically take off half the health of the zombie deckhands in one volley.
He also has done a lot to the depth guard of polearms. He should probably be 100% focusing them, honestly, just to get them out of the fight. But that absolutely annihilated. They're crumbling and gone. What is he? I think a little bit weird targeting with the Skaven, what they're trying to do. He should also be sending those pack masters in. They have enough speed to catch those gunnery mob and do lots of damage. You should definitely be focusing the depth guard of polearms, because they will annihilate the depth guard of polearms.
Yes, I think at the moment they're trying to snipe down the cannons. They're pretty decent at that if they get in range. Like you can see they're with additional way, both ones away almost, and it's just some mortars at the back which are firing into trees, which is kind of limit their effectiveness. It's not huge here because it's only into the forest, but the shots can hit the trees on the way down. So it's a.
Also, I've not seen.
A huge amount of choice here, but it's not an ideal target for them.
I've not seen any spell casting on either side yet. And that summon was in the spell cast. Don't bring this spell. Just don't. I think it's Vermintide. It's not that good. I mean, clan rats just in general aren't that good.
Yeah, I think it can be a decent spell, but here he's used it to buff his front line, and that's not what they should be used for. They should be used like zombies. That they get summoned as a disruption tool. So you summon them, like if you summoned them inside this kind of zombie parrot gunnery mob and prevented them firing at the Packmaster just now, or if you summoned them to prevent like some cavalry getting at your units, then it's viable. You're not summoning them to do damage, you're summoning them as kind of a screen.
Yeah, definitely.
Or as kind of a disruption. One thing I'll note here is we've got the running Prometheans from the Vampire Coast summoned in the forest, and we've got Celestra fighting in the forest. Large units like this suffer, I'm not sure 100% what the penalty is, but they suffer like negative penalties for fighting in woodlands. It's the same with kind of cavalry and any of these kind of large entities. So you're massively reducing their effectiveness by putting them in engagements like this.
And Sasha's also just especially to add on to what Crossie says, large, just never put them in the force. They're, like you said, penalties, and maneuverability is also is lowered too. If you can easily get surrounded, and right now Slash has been fired on from all directions. The avalanche mortars took a lot of damage. I don't know exactly what happened to them, but Even though, oh yeah, one just killed himself because he shot into the forest.
I think it's friendly fire showing him. Here with their outside the forest, like trying to fire inwards, and they're just gonna shoot straight into this tree. So,
but they did 24,000 damage and got 2,300 damage value. That is pretty insane. I think they cost somewhere in the 1,000 region. I'm not sure if it's the low end or the high end of it. This battle turned into a mess. We got some just pirate mobs standing around doing nothing when they could be going in to finish off those warp Giselles. This battle's a lot closer than I remember.
I don't think it's particularly close. Given the
Skaven
Squawk is still full health, and the Packmaster is still full health. A lot of the Skaven chaff has kind of been whittled off, and they're basically out of ammunition.
Yeah.
But there's nothing left on the Vampire Coast side that would. I don't even know that could kill Squawk unless he sat there and let this cannon unload its entire battery on him. Then yeah.
I also feel like the cannons just have not been used too well this game.
Yeah, the artillery here was kind of a bit of a misplay from the
only one of them have 1,000 over 1,000. All the other ones struggled quite a bit.
That's one of the things about don't give your opponents great targets to fire at. The Skaven kept their valuable units, their range units, pretty well hidden in this forest or out of the way.
Yeah.
It's only quite late on, and these, for instance, charge in these sensor bearers, which are probably going to inflate the cannon stats a bit.
Yeah.
When, they're getting some free shots now, but the battle's basically already won.
Yeah, battles. As soon as Silashra goes down, that's over. It's over. The
and
still has some zombies.
Double Packmaster still, which is a kind of
I did not realize how good Packmasters are. They also have poison. They have poison and armor piercing. They also have a lot of really good buffs.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure
they're immune to psychology too.
Taken a bit of a nerf in the current patch. I'm not sure exactly what they've done to kind of whittle them down, but a few of the Skaven units have aren't quite as strong as they were at this time, but they're still
there goes Silastra. Now it's really just send those Packmasters and Kins.
When starts going over there, then the the rest of the army's going to crumble very quickly.
And those mortars still firing into the forest, trying to focus on Skrulk. With artillery, don't fire them onto single entities unless it's meant that way.
So cannons and those kind of units would be decent against them. If they hit, they'll do good damage. Mortars are going to do the splash damage will do next to nothing. It's you just got to use your artillery for the role it's there for. It's the same with, for instance, avalanche mortars and Giselles. If you fire avalanche mortars at a single entity, you'll get no value from them. It'll do nothing. If you fire, your Giselles will do decent value to infantry into that, but I think they're better used as kind of sniping units to take out key targets than kind of picking on for instance a spearman or an Empire swordsman or something. They struggle to get their value against those targets. So it's all about target prioritization.
Yeah, definitely. And there's the crumbling. Everything's falling apart. Cannons explode because of course they do. And that's it. That is Nate going up 2-0 and advancing to the semifinals. Avalanche mortars did really good damage. One of the warp Giselles did really good damage. Skrulk didn't do anything.
I think he just kind of waddled about by himself that battle. Spent. Packmasters, I'm not quite sure they paced themselves, but if you look at their health, they're both very healthy, but they've still had regen camp to work with. So they didn't particularly need to. I think all the damage here was done with these the free units at the end, the warp Giselles and the avalanche mortars.
Yeah, definitely. And that is it for Nate versus EvadeShade. I will say both of them have a lot to learn, but I like their play styles, and they'll definitely become better players when they spread their wings a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago when Flash was making all these same mistakes. So.
Yeah, exactly. Putting my units into straight lines and using lizardmen against dwarves. All right. Any final remarks? Or
I just think to reiterate, just make sure you have your units targeting the units that they're going to be most effective against. Target prioritization and kind of like using your units to counter theirs is a key part of kind of getting value and winning these battles. So
definitely, and just know your units and know your matchups, because definitely in general, if you don't have infantry unit that can fight a frontline unit like the Skaven and Vampire Coast, with the Coast having the Depth Guard, Avalanche Boarders taking them out makes them completely redundant, and that's 1,600 down the drain. All right, well, thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.